am so sorry that I've been taking forever to update on the nurse cosplay thing. I actually have gotten really behind on it because I was working and then I was moving into my dorm and then classes were starting and then, oh my gosh, you know, my con that I was making this is this weekend and it's not going to get done. So I don't actually have it done. So I don't have like an example to show you, but all the things that I was going to talk about next, I don't really need to have it with me. I mean, it would have been cool, but I don't really need it. So anyway, let's just pretend that I have it done and we'll be good to go. Okay, so you have your costume, you followed the pattern, and so you should have this normal looking nurse outfit. Made it, you know, fit you however you needed to make it fit. Had it done shorter, however you're comfortable with. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to dye it. Now, I dyed it with tea. That's how I got it started. There's a million different ways you can dye things. Just look it up. But the best way I found was for tea. And with this method, you're not really going to want to do it with any other method when it comes to dyeing fabric because you want it all to be one, you know, one shade. And sometimes it'll be a little lighter, a little darker, and it'll be all mixed up and stuff. But for this, that's kind of okay because it's uneven and it looks better, actually, to have darker spots and make it look just creepy and stuff. But anyway, so what you're going to do, what I did, was get, if you have a stainless steel sink or a bowl, I used a sink, just fill it up with hot water, just boil it and pour it all in there or whatever you need to do, and then get a bunch of those little tea bags and put them in there and let it cool before you put it in the fabric, and then just let it sit in there. And the problem with this is you have to experiment because I can't tell you, you know, keep it in there for an hour, keep it in there for an extra hour, because depending on what brand you get or how thick your fabric is or how many tea bags you put in, it all depends. So always have a scrap of fabric, you know, maybe you cut some off, experiment with that. And even if it's the wrong color or something, it'll still, there's no right color as long as it's not white and it just looked aged. So that's how you do dyeing. A neat little trick that I figured out is that you have the tea bags and they're kind of floating around, and yeah, that'll get it to, you know, soak up and stuff. But if you actually press the tea bags onto the fabric and just kind of press it there and squeeze it out right there, it'll kind of get darker around there. And like I said, you kind of want it to be uneven, so that's just a neat little trick that I figured out. After you have it dyed, I really can't tell you what to do next after this because it's all about just experimenting and get it to look sort of whatever you want. If you want to bloody it up, then bloody it up all you want. If you want it, you know, a little darker, then just experiment with it. There's no right or wrong way to get it done. So after dyeing it, it's pretty much up to you what you want to do next. Also, another trick to have is, if you went ahead and hemmed everything, that's okay, but you really didn't need to, because don't have it all nicely done. Kind of cut it up all jaggedy and have it just looking ripped and stuff. And I guess that's pretty much it. Because you want it to, you know, you want it to be dirty and ripped and things like that, so don't have it looking so clean cut. That's kind of one of the things that I've always noticed with a lot of the Silent Hill nurses, that they'll just get a really nice nurse outfit and then just kind of put some blood on it and be like, oh, I'm a scary zombie nurse. And don't be like that. A few people have been asking me how to make the bubblehead masks that are in the movie and in the game and that a lot of people have done. I personally am not making them. I'm kind of doing my own version sort of thing. I'm actually doing like bandages wrapped around my head and stuff, and kind of doing a creepy thing with that. And if you're doing that, and I guess this goes without saying, also when you know, dye your dress, you want to dye your hat too if you're making a hat. I got mine at just regular costume shop. They're real cheap. They're like $3. If you want to make one, I'm sure there's some online thing, but I just bought mine because they're cheap and they're ready to go. I'm not making a mask, like I said, so if you're looking for how to do that, there's plenty of tutorials. Always go to cosplay.com forums. It's great because if you're cosplaying something, someone else out there has already cosplayed it before, and you can ask them how they did it. And I know there's a few tutorials out there on how to make the masks, but it's pretty complicated. Well, it's not really that complicated, but if you're kind of a beginner or you don't really know what you're doing, it has to do with latex and, you know, if you want to be real fancy, actually make a mold and do a face, and I'm sure there's easier ways to do it, but I haven't really looked into it. But I'm going to include some links over in the, actually on that side. This side, over here, in the information. And that's all I can think of right now. Anyway, that's all I can think of to tell you about dyeing it and making it look cool. Next video, I'll talk about walking, because they do have a certain walk, and that will just make it even more awesome. Walking and posing. There's a certain way you should look when you're posing for pictures, because people will want to take your picture, because you're going to be doing a good cosplay. Anyway, see you later.